Hello and welcome to the space of Conscious CoCreators. I'm Uma, joined by co-host Shani.
Hello, hello.
Today we are joined by our beautiful guest, Sophie, who is a business coach, especially working with women right now. She helps people overcome limiting beliefs and combine the energetic work, the spiritual awareness with prosperity. And today we're going to dive a little bit into these topics. So welcome.
Thank you so much for having us right now. Like I feel like very excited about the space and the energy we will create between the three of us. So thank you for inviting me. Yeah.
Thank you for coming and really appreciate. Yeah, we connected at the festival a few months ago. We spoke a little bit, but I don't really know too much about the background. So we spoke a little bit outside, and what we said is some people who get into this either come from a deeper spiritual path and then they try to get into the business, and other people come more from the corporate background and then they incorporate the spiritual work. So what was your path into this? Was it through the business or more the spiritual side?
Yeah, like my background is the business side. So I came, like I never knew what to do, right? And then I ended up like, I feel like a lot of people studying marketing and management, and worked in one of the biggest advertisement agencies in Berlin, till the moment I was completely burned out and asked myself, what the hell, like this is life now, you know? So I went through my own personal journey of discovering what really matters to me in this life. And that was, I had like one question someone asked me in a very, very important moment. And he asked like, what does happiness means to you? And in this moment, I had no idea anymore. You know, I had like all this successful life, you know, like I had this great job and all these things. But in this moment, I was like, I don't know anymore. So I went onto my own journey, and everything I do today was like actually completely guided. You know, I never was planning, I will become a spiritual business coach. Like, no, not at all. So, it's this feeling of like deeply trusting what is unfolding in front of you and what life asks you for. So background, business, and deeply connected into spirituality. And I think it's actually not like this or that. It's like a beautiful way together. You know, even people who are not knowing that this is actually feeding into their business success. Like I think and I see that this is it, yeah.
Okay. In that question that person asked you at that time, that was like a triggering moment, but was this something else that like made you want to quit that life? And did you go through any low points, or how did you decide to quit that path of the safe career and go more to the unknown?
So what happened? I mean, it was really this, you know, moment of deeply feeling disconnected to myself. I was like, I don't even know who I am anymore. You know, when you walk all the corporate ladder, and I feel like I have to share this story like a little bit because it's really powerful, and it gives like I think also people who are maybe on the edge at the moment, maybe the sign they need to, because I needed it so much. So anyway, I was working in this agency. It was night. I had like a long shift after me, and I always had to pass in Berlin. There's a big Berlin gate. I don't know if you ever have been there. Anyway, I had to pass the Berlin gate, and I was standing in front of it, and I felt like this deep sense of sadness. Like, what the hell am I doing with my life? You know, I have all this success from the outside, but I feel so empty inside. And I wrote my friend, like, what am I doing? And in this moment, this guy came, and I didn't saw him coming, nothing. He was like just next to me, and I didn't notice him, and he was just saying, he didn't say hello, nothing. He just said like, and what does happiness means to you? And I looked at him and I started to cry, and I'm like, I don't know, I have no idea anymore. And then we were sitting there. It was really, and you know, and then we were sitting there at night at his gate, and I told him everything, you know, like I have all this like from the outside the success, but I feel so empty inside, and in myself everything screams like, you have to run, like you have to run, you have to quit everything. But I cannot, I worked so hard for this, this is like, now I kind of made it what I thought what success means. And he looked at me and he was like, what if I tell you that you can fly? Like when you jump now, that you can trust that you can fly. And I was like, that actually really lands. So I trusted him that when I jump now from the cliff that I can fly. Even I had no idea where I will land. And I think I'm still flying. I think we all are flying, right? But I found it so important, this reminder, like, hey, if the deep feeling inside you is screaming for, this is not for me, like you can trust, even you don't know, because our mind is always wanting to know what is the next step, where to go, what to do, and to really trust that intuition of like, I don't know, but I deeply trust this feeling of I can fly.
And so you quit your job the next day?
Kind of. Like I quit my job, I quit my flat, and I wanted actually just traveling for 2 months because in my mind I was still very in my, but then I have to go back to a normal job. And I ended up like traveling for 1 year and did my yoga teacher training. I never thought that I will do anything in the spiritual world, but just for myself. But I got into contact of like a deeper inner voice and knowing, so I knew I could never go back into something that is not fulfilling for me.
Yeah, I resonate with that a lot because I actually went through a similar experience at one point. Someone didn't come to me and ask me this question, but I was working in like a corporate job, doing consultancy, and I was flying everywhere. Like for a whole year, I was going to Germany a lot, and I think I flew like pretty much twice a week for a year. And doing that kind of work, you build up some like air mileage. And I was really looking forward to going to like the first class lounges when I get the air mileage built up. And then I remember working for this consultancy, like 12 hours a day, a lot of work for different clients. And then when I got to the lounge for the first time, the first thing I saw was like this guy who looked like me, but really overweight, really depressed looking. And the first thing at 5 a.m. was drinking alcohol with like eating a lot of sugar. And I was like, wow, just smoking cigarettes. I'm like, okay, that's my future. And I could see it. So I made the decision right then to quit my job, but I didn't quit. And then within the next few days, I got a random email from someone about an opportunity in Portugal. And I never moved here before. And I just was like, okay, I don't know why, but that seems right. And I see what you're seeing about like not knowing the full path, but trusting the intuition, and then the path unfolds. Because for me, logically, it didn't make sense to quit that job. It was everything I worked for. And then quitting that was like, okay, letting it go. But then not having the path defined before me, I think for some people, they would want the full picture before they go and take that step. And for you as well, coming from that background, not knowing and going traveling for a year, like how did you rationalize that decision of not knowing where you're going to go and like not even having the plan to become a business coach, a spiritual business coach, just kind of trusting your intuition? How did you feel about taking that leap? Like you said, you can fly.
Yeah. I mean, there was not a lot of conscious decisions at this time. So it was actually really like flowing what life brought in front of me. I mean, now backwards, I can see how like I was so guided, like everything was so meant to be. But at this time I was just floating, right? And I also was wondering, and this is, I think, also something really, really powerful, because I can see myself and also my clients quite often, oh, this makes no sense. You think this kind of leap to the left right now, what is in front of me makes no sense. But in the end, it kind of makes sense, because I was like, I studied marketing and media, but now I feel really called for the yoga. Makes no sense. And I was living in Spain, and my friends, they were like, hey, we want to do yoga with you. And I was like, yeah, how can we do this? And we were like, okay, let's do it over Zoom. That was 2018. And so we started to do yoga over Zoom, what was back at this time really unusual. And people were like, what? You do yoga over Zoom? That's so weird. And we're like, yeah, we're just doing it. And, you know, it got bigger and bigger. It kind of became like a movement in the morning, doing yoga before work. And then COVID hit. And this was the moment where like people knew that I do online yoga, and like people from like the like yoga teacher, they came to me and they were like, how do you do business online? Like how does this go? How does this work? So this was also, I had never planned to become the coach in this field, but like naturally the people came to me and asked me to it. So this was kind of the transition, and this is how I just learned to really trust in what is unfolding, even if it don't make sense from the logical mind, but like this deep sense of deep trust. Yeah. And I think this is the most important in life, no? And also in business, trusting that even at the moment it looks shaky, trust that something is unfolding for you. Yeah.
Yeah, I really believe that when we are deeply rooted in the purpose and in the soul alignment, then things happen naturally and we're in the flow. Yeah.
Yeah.
And also when we are not in the flow, also this is, you know, it's talking, it's speaking, right? Like to allowing the stuckness and the not flowingness. Like not that it's a sign to give up. I think this is something I see often, like, oh, it's not flowing, it's not for me. What if this is not actually the case? What it does mean, maybe we have to take a little how do you say this, like make some little adjustments, or maybe there's still some beliefs behind, you know, what is actually blocking you from flowing. So there's also a beauty in not flowing. I had so many moments in my own business journey where it was not flowing, and if it feels like dying sometimes, right? Like it feels like, okay, a part of me is dying at the moment because what I thought, how my business goes is not, and this is it. It's not about building up a business. It's about like allowing your soul to really be in deep service. And with this, the rest is like building up by itself for me.
True.
So why do you think some people cannot connect with this calling of the soul? And well, from all your colleagues of this agency, only you are given the access to this awareness, and this person triggered it. And why do you think some people feel it and others don't?
You mean the not knowing about what is my purpose?
No, I mean spiritual awakening, you know?
Yeah.
So many people is unaware of that there is something more. And when you said you started your story, for some people is where the story is right now, but maybe starting to feel something out of alignment. Like, how would you direct people to arrive to this connection with the self if they are in this everyday fast-paced society and maybe feeling that maybe they would like to experiment something, but they cannot access it?
Yeah. I mean, if you start like kind of feeling that it's not flowing, right? Like you feel stuck in this is kind of like a shaking, right? You want to say something? And I feel like you no? Because like this the shakiness to look at it in the meaning of like to see that this is actually like at the moment also happening to me, even I don't know yet. And what you just said, like the fastness of the busyness of the day life makes it really hard to hear your inner voice, right? And when I start to feel it gets sticky and shaky, to really consciously taking myself the allowance to go into the nothingness, like take yourself out there for a few days, for a week, to really, or longer if you can, you know, to really get out of this mind spiral, because we have so many stories in our mind. Oh my gosh! And with going out of this. To start to connecting again with your inner voice. So this is what I really see. What is the biggest impact when you get out of the normal day to day, back to connecting with your deeper inner voice, right? Yeah, being surrounded by people who also walk the path that is different what you know as your normal, like your normal life. It's also super important, because what I think is reality will be my reality, but if I get like a different example, you're like, oh, this is actually also possible. Oh, it's actually possible to do what I love and also actually earn money with it. You know, there are so many stigmata also around spirituality and work in the spiritual field, that it has to be like, that it has to be hard, or that you don't earn money with it, or that it's super hard to earn money. There are so many beliefs still in this. And I mean, either way, what you believe, it's true, right? If you believe it's really hard, it will be very hard. And if you don't believe it's hard. And I want to point one thing out here. It's not just the mind, right? I mean, we have an energetic body. We have, you know, our spiritual body. Also, like our body of what is our mission here. So it's not just being clear in our mind, like, oh, I can earn money easily, but also like clearing the energetic field, like being connected to your soul, that really is speaking through you. And I mean, when we look around, what people do really talk to us, like to me are the people, like really also what I shared to you guys, I was watching you from afar, like a little silent mouse, and I was just in awe of how devoted you are and how you're not playing small. I always love when I see people who are like, you know, let's go out there, let's invite the coolest people, let's make something really, really powerful. And this is vibrating, and this is vibrating through social media. You know, in social media, you get like spread with news and information, but you feel the vibration, you feel the energy of people really doing it with all their heart, with all their beliefs. And we went somewhere else what the question was.
But there's something I would really like to touch upon, because you said there are different kind of bodies, and for me it sounds like when I screen the community, why, or the society even, why most of people are connected to making money and work. Some people are connected to the spirituality and higher consciousness and healing. And so small amount of people is connected to both.
Yeah. I really like that question. I mean, what I see is, I mean, we need it all, right? We need the people who love to work. You know, not everyone will be in how do I say, like, not everyone is, their soul mission is in this life to bring out their gift into the world in a sense of a business, you know, like just really important. Like I deeply believe we all are here to really express ourselves in the fullest, and this is for everyone like a different path. And for some of us, there is this path of like the path of really taking this deep connection to the soul. Like I feel like the people who connect the spirituality with the business are kind of the bridge takers, you know, like I feel like that.
Right.
Yeah, I see them actually as a bridge, because when I also see like this deeply rooted and spiritual humans who are so important for raising the vibration of society, I sometimes really wish like that they just really can stay where they are. They don't even have to go there. So then there are the other ones, spirituality and business, and they kind of connect these two worlds with each other. I don't know if this makes any sense, but
yeah, I think I am getting that, is because on the one side, it would be amazing if everyone creates their heart's calling and their gift for the world.
Yeah.
But our society does need certain things to function. And for this society, maybe that's not a way that we can actually survive and go forward. But there's probably a new way of living where we bridge the people who are uplifting and bringing that energy as well as kind of the consciousness in the business. So like what you shared before was when you were doing yoga classes before work, like you were bringing that kind of energy into the business. And what we're seeing now is a lot of people in the corporate world are way more open to these spiritual practices. So that bridge is kind of being like filled a little bit more and more compared to 5 years ago or 10 years ago.
Yeah.
Yes.
And I think this is actually really important right now also. There's this openness that is happening to bring it into the corporate world. Like what I said, what I see, I mean, everyone has their own reality, right? Like everyone takes what resonates and not. But in this world, we need different roles, and different people are here for different things, right? And then there are I mean, if you see it in human design, you know, like there are the generators, they do, and then there are the ones who really have the visions, and like all of us are so unique and important, but the ones who do the vision, they are not meant for doing the work, and of course they get drained. Like, so I really see that it's important to see what is your why are you here, like what is actually really called through you in this life. And but what I see is so important at the moment is really bringing like the consciousness into leadership roles as well, because it kind of is an effect from the top down. Like if I have a manager that is really connected to, hey, the well-being of my soul, my body is so important, and in the end it will also benefit the business. This is the change I want to see, because I don't see that we will change the world without really taking the corporate world with us, you know, like to taking what is already here with us. Yeah,
that's so true. And I feel like when my experience in the corporate world, like whenever I worked with a manager who was a little bit more conscious and aware, that impacts the rest of the team so much more. And on the other side as well, when this manager brings all of their negative energy from their life and their work into the space, it impacts the way people show up on a daily basis. And that has a ripple effect on the work they do and the way that they show up. And I think businesses ultimately are just like a group of people working towards this goal. And if you can have that impact at the higher level, it can have a huge impact overall.
Definitely.
So I'm curious from your guys' experience as for working with corporate companies, how facilitators and healers and therapists who would like to open for this kind of work but don't speak the language can actually step into contact with these people.
The people, like facilitators, how they can get in contact with people from the corporate world.
Yeah, because you know, many times we say it's much easier to niche your offering to people whom you know. But when we talk about bridging spirituality and business, we have a lot of facilitators, yoga teacher, practitioners, therapists, who would maybe even be open to support energetically people who work in business, but they cannot access them because they don't speak the same language. So if you were to coach someone who is open to make this transition and establish this professional relationship with some kind of company, how would you guide them?
Yeah. I think what is really talking the loudest is like human to human. So really allowing yourself to be in spaces where you meet people from the corporate world, or like go there by yourself to like have a human connection. So this is the first. And I mean, the thing is, in the end, what we want is like a human to human connection, heart to heart. So like go into spaces, because it's so easy to stay also in your bubble, right? Like being in your spiritual bubble, because I feel super nice and safe. Yes. But I see it a bit like light workers, and they spread out, and like everyone is in a little field and spread their lights. So to not be shy to go into a space, like go to a company and give them your offer, you know, also to allow yourself to be big, to be seen, to be too much, in the meaning of, oh no, I cannot go there, or I cannot call them twice, you know. No, be much, like know that what you have to offer for this company could really change lives. And this is, I think, really the most important thing to think about. And maybe it's just for one person, it makes a difference. So I kind of put my ego by side, and I know what I have to offer is powerful. So, or to go to after work events, you know, like in the end, the most powerful connections we have happen on a Sacred Soul festival in a tent. You know, like this is actually what really works the best from my perspective. So allow yourself to be seen, to go out there, to write emails, to calls, to go to the company, go to after work events, go out of your bubble, because in your bubble, of course, you will naturally meet people from your bubble. So go out into the different bubble and allow yourself to shine your light in there.
So it's again working with the worthiness,
yes,
with the purpose, with the mission, direction.
Yeah.
We address a lot of this in our work when we work with people, but still I believe that there is a big fear that there will not be like energetic alignment. And this is something that's really hard to push through when we talk about holistic practitioners, because there is not only a resistance that comes towards the money, but there's also a resistance towards all the people on the other side. And I think in my experience, I did have an episode in the corporate world. It was a small corporate company where I was working in marketing as well as a designer. And this really helped me understand a lot about how people who work a 9-to-5 job operate, what are their values, and like what's out there, right? But for many people who never had this experience, I think going out there is such a challenge, because it's like going to another planet, you know? But it's so necessary. So even to break it into smaller steps, like how can we make this bridge for ourselves in a regular one person business?
Yeah, what you say resonates a lot with me. Like if you have been already in this world, you kind of know how this world functions. You kind of know the pain points as well, right? You know how it is. And but if you never have been in this world, I think there's also like a lot of beauty in it, a lot of amazingness in it, because you have like such a different mind to see things differently that helps people who are kind of just knowing the, let's say, the, I don't want to put it in a cage, but you know, like this kind of form, like they just know this box, and then there is someone coming and is like showing you there is not even a box. And you're like, what? You tell me there is not even a box? Like that's a reality. So I think there is a part in me, like if I think, oh, energetically this could be not a fit, like the people are in the box, you know, like to take my ego by side and like allow myself to go in there as the floaty everythingness I am, you know, and so yeah. And if it's hard for you to enter this world by yourself, maybe team up with someone who's like really in both worlds, who has a deep understanding for the business world, but also a deep understanding for the spiritual world. So you kind of have an entrance into this. And I think this is actually it at the moment so much. What I see is there was like so many awakening happening. People really came to their core and they're like, hey, I cannot deny it anymore. But now we have so many lonely soldiers out there who are trying so hard, and it's like overwhelming, and it's like pressure, and it's like too much. So what I see is really about what you do, guys, like building a network, bringing collaborations together. Like we have so many uniqueness, geniuses in our fields. Let's come together. Let's build up. Let's build teams, you know, and then spread out into the world. Because what I also see is that it's so cozy in our little bubble, so you don't even want to go out. So find a partner, and with this you go out into the corporate world, and that makes that's powerful.
I feel like you touch on an important point there, because one of the biggest problems I've seen in like the entrepreneurial space is this like idea of the solopreneur who does everything themselves. Yeah. And actually what I realized is there is a lot you can do by yourself, but building a team and connecting with others who have those experiences. So yeah, maybe if someone who's fully away from the corporate world, they are not able to communicate to those people, and maybe accepting that and knowing, I have a friend who does have that experience. Maybe I can learn from them or connect with people from that space and learn to network with people, learn to connect and grow together. And that's what Conscious CoCreators is about. It's not just about us, it's about co-creation, creating together.
Yeah. This is why I think I know what you do will have like such big ripple effects. You know, this is what is needed right now, bringing people together, collaborations, and the deep knowing, okay, I'm not alone in this. Because I don't want to see anyone more burned out by actually really having like such deep, and it's also, no one of us should think I have to carry the weight of the world on my shoulders, you know?
But
Yeah.
I think it actually comes from the corporate world, because even though you're part of this big team, you're just a small cog who does his one thing, and you have that task, and you can do it. You can be part of a team, but just do your own task and focus on it.
Or if it's from the other side, then you cannot afford to pay the team. So if you're on the other hand, you're starting your soul-aligned business, and you're like, you just have to do it by yourself because you cannot afford a designer, an accountant, a lawyer, a consultant, so assistant, you know. So at the end of the day, you need to learn a little bit about everything in order to be able to start. And if we were living more in like communities instead of these boxes in the cities, in like, okay, this is my box, this is your box, and okay, everybody is doing this work, all of my friends from university is doing this work, I want to be a little bit different. So I close myself in a box and I'm with this by myself. But if I am in a community of individuals who are not about a program that they gave us in school, they are about the natural preference of what I want, then it's easier to team up because we do different things. I don't know if this makes sense.
Totally. And what came for me when you shared this is also the allowance of asking for help, the allowance of not knowing. Because I think what was also like this picture, I go out there and I have to build up my business, and now I'm an expert and I have to know everything, and like kind of playing a certain role in this, and like to be completely naked and truthful, like, I need help in this, and I need support, and I don't know. Oh, there's such a beauty in like allowing yourself to not knowing, to go to people like, hey, I want you in my team, I need you, you know, and not putting the facade of like, I'm a professional and I know what I do. Like, I actually don't.
Yeah, and I think it's also about being maybe creative with your resources, because you might not have so much of a budget to hire people full-time, but maybe you can pay a freelancer to help you here and there. Maybe you can find an exchange that works for someone else, or you have something else that can benefit somebody else that's not financial, and you can support them in another way. So being a bit more creative with that, and expanding your team and your reach through
And
these
being
ways.
vulnerable.
Yeah.
I think for me, one of the biggest realizations was like every successful person has a mentor. And when I was starting with design, I was really like craving for a mentor. And I was like, with all my university professors, I was like, okay, maybe he, maybe he, maybe he. But it didn't click with no one at the end of the day. And I was learning everything by myself. And then somebody said, every coach has a coach. Behind every coach, there is a coach. And then it started to unfold, and I started to work with one person, another person, another person. Right now, in my support team is 3 people, not to even mention people whom I support. I receive support from 3 people in 3 different fields of my life. So I think being this vulnerable and being like, okay, I need somebody to hold my hand, and I'm willing to risk, because I know that when this person grabs my hand, I will arrive on the top, or whatever the top is right now, or I will understand where is my top even, you know?
Right. Yeah, it takes that humility to be like, okay, I need support, and I can go here by myself, but maybe this person can take me much further.
Definitely, yeah. And I think it's always this, like, you be a teacher and a student at the same time. Like, we really need that so much. And like asking for support is so important.
But what I'm realizing now is what the challenge was for me with this lack of mentor was that I couldn't find someone who would live a life that I would aspire to. So like finding authority in where you want to reach is like, okay, because I want somebody to take me by the hand to reach the mountain, but if there is nobody on the mountain that I want to go to, then who do I ask? And what would you say to all that people?
The people who say, I don't see someone who is walking kind of the path. Also a beautiful example, I think, because, I mean, you will create your own mountain, and it's okay if there's no one already who was climbing a mountain similar the one you want to see, but there are different fields. People can support you in different ways. So how it feels for me if I think, okay, there's no one out there that inspires me, that is really going the mountain I want to go, it kind of has a bit something with how do you say this? Superior, like what I do, superior energy, like what I want to do, no one else is doing, so I'm not inspired. Well, what if I'm so, like open myself again for the inspiration in the little things and people who I think are not even so inspiring. There's something about superior energy, like, oh, what I do, no one else is doing. Like, I think there is a certain need of humbleness coming to come back to this again.
I think that's interesting. And like the example of the mountains, interesting, because the way I would see it is like, okay, because that's kind of been the approach for me, is I've not seen somebody on the mountain I want to go on exactly, but then I know to climb the mountain there's certain skills you need. So I'm like, okay, this person can help me with this skill, this one can help me with this skill, but I know my direction is somewhere else. It's like that person is on a different path, but they're really good at, like, walking. So I'm going to learn walking up the mountain from him, but they're going in a different direction, but it's okay. I'm not going to follow their direction. I'm just going to learn the skill from them and go my own direction.
Yeah.
So it's like kind of seeing yourself as like being able to learn different skills from different people, but being connected to your own path, even if it's a different direction to your mentors. It's like, okay.
I love that.
We also say the teacher comes when the student is ready.
Totally.
And the teacher and the student is the same person.
Yes. I totally see that. That resonates a lot with me. And when I mean, it's also about like opening and asking for the support, right? It's also, I think, a big reminder of, okay, but did you already ask for support? Like your guides, the spirits, and the energetically opening, like, I need support right now.
Yeah. I'm curious to hear about your journey. Did you go through a period when you first decided that I'm going to invest in a mentor in myself? How was that like for the first time? Like, okay, I want to invest into myself. Like, what was that?
I was not thinking about that, actually. I was just, I found this woman on Instagram and I was like, what is this? What is this being? I was just inspired by everything she did. And she was, and this is something also, I think, for everyone that works in this field, she was not shy to share a lot, meditations. She went live. So it was like really easy to dive into her world, into her energy field. And she really just got me with this. And then she reached out, and this is also something really important, because what I see quite often is that people are like, I do all this, but no one is actually booking. But do you actually talk to your audience? Do you actually engage with them? Like something really important, like people coming into my living room, but I also have to go to them and say, hey, nice that you're here. Do you want to sit down and have a coffee? Like to welcome the people. And she welcomed me into her world. She was like, hey, I've seen you're here on my world, like, welcome. And so it started, and I just could, and she was like, hey, are you open to chat? And I'm like, yeah. And this is how it started. And I was, before that, oh my gosh. Before that, I mean, I was like, I need support, but I was not like, I will find now my mentor. No, it was like really allowing this this field to open. I need support. And then I kind of forgot about it. And then she came into my field, and it was like such an energetic match. And I remember when she told me how much it would be to work with her, I was like, hell no, I cannot afford it. And that was also my box in this moment where I was like, no, this was not something I knew at this time. But then I did it, and it opened up everything for me today. So yeah, it's powerful to invest into something, and if it's scary.
What kind of mentor was it?
She was also like a business, she also a spiritual business coach. She's very spiritual, very energetic, but also really good and just putting yourself out there. Yeah. So I think that's important.
Yeah. I think when you take that leap and then you go through that stage of, okay, that sounds like a lot of money. I don't know how to even get that kind of money to pay it, to, okay, I'm going to make this happen. And you put the energy forward, it creates this momentum towards your goals and your mission. Totally. And I feel for me that it was the same where the first time I invested in myself, I couldn't imagine even paying that amount. It was like, that money, I don't have it in my account. I don't see that money ever coming to my account. It's a no, but then somehow it was a yes. And then I made it happen as well.
Yeah.
And it was the best decision I ever made.
Yeah, right.
So.
I'm curious, what was the greatest fight you had to fight with yourself to show yourself out there and start your soul-aligned business?
First of all, putting my ego by side, in the meaning of, at the beginning, I was like, I'm not this kind of, just the word spirituality scared me, what if my old colleagues hear that, or what will my ex-partner say, like all this, what could other people think if I really start to speak my truth, if I really not just go the path that is socially like agreed with, if I really speak about things that other people think now she's crazy. But the more I did it, I felt like such a liberation, and like there were people who were like, okay, what the hell are you talking about now? And there was also a strength in it to hold it, and therefore like my anger was like something really important in my own journey, like to connect with my anger and to be like, it's okay that this is not for you, but it's my truth, and you don't have to buy it, you don't have to believe it, you don't have to do anything with it, but it's my truth. And what's the beauty in this, I really allowed myself to. My dad gave me really, really powerful advice. He was like, once your image is ruined, you are free, because you don't hold yourself in the cage what other people might think of you.
Wow.
So just allow yourself to be free and do whatever you want. And we're like, great, that's actually, because it's our, that works because we build ourselves a cage. Oh, I cannot do this because it's really powerful to just write down what are actually the 5 people that I have in my mind when I don't post, because in the end they have faces, they have names, and then to look at them and to be like, they're really, really not want to start what I deeply desire, like the life I desire, the purpose that wants to be expressed through me, because of these 5 people, like really. So no, and I want to make a little plot twist here, because like that was something really beautiful for me, because I was like, oh no, I will not share because of my ex-partner, and I was like, okay, like I will do it anyway. And a few years later, he wrote me and he was like, hey, actually, I just wanted to say that I find it very inspiring that you just go out there and do whatever you want. Like you just don't care, you just do it. And I think it's really inspiring. I was like, the person I always had in my mind who is judging me, what the hell is she doing now? He actually was applauding from afar, Wow. So we never know. So just, do you.
This is so powerful, and I feel it resonates to the bottom of myself, really, and probably everyone. Because whenever we decide to step away from life, and it's different from people who start from the scratch, and it's different from people who rebrand their life or transition from different lifestyle. And then all the people, like, what will they think? And from what is my understanding, it's many times the healing process is, okay, I have a mindset, and then I have Z mindset. So like from north to south, like we do for the healing many times, we like disattach completely from what we knew and we go to the opposite, and only after we can merge. But it's sometimes very difficult because we think we're going back.
Mm.
So like, okay, I was here, now I'm here. And in reality, we go here. But in sometimes it can seem at the beginning when we go from this like very spiritual, etheric, awakening state to again grounding the purpose in the society, to be able to not only experience joy and bliss, but to actually share it with people, we need to come a little bit more to the direction of the society. So there is so much limitation there, because it's like, I'm afraid that if I go back to prosperity, to thinking about money, to thinking about business, to thinking about career, I will again embody my old version of myself that's related to like being busy, to being materialistic, and I don't want to support this myself. I want to be this awakened myself. How can we encourage people to blend it in a way that's healthy, so not to come back to the old patterns, but to learn and integrate this version of yourself?
Yeah. What I feel is really powerful, the reminder of like a stretched mind. A stretched mind will never go into his old dimension. Like I deeply trust that if you went there, if you really you got rooted so deeply in your knowing, in your purpose and the connection, like if you went there, you will not go into this direction again. You will find yourself in the middle. And maybe there are moments you go a bit more into the business, but you will feel it. Like if not your soul, but your body will tell you. So you will come back. So I think there is trusting that like your soul brings you back to the middle, and that you actually need it in the middle. It's not like being on the left or on the right side. It's about being balanced, being in the middle. And with this, you can also be in service, because here you can also meet the people that actually need you. Here you can meet the people that actually need the reminder of what it needs. And I think we need more spiritual people out in this field, but coming always back kind of to the mothership to recharge, and then you can go back, so that you always are reminded. But yeah, like what I think is important, like, and stretched mind will never go into his old dimension. To trust in that. Yeah. Is this an answer?
I agree and I disagree.
Tell me.
Because if we base it on the mind, then I think it's pretty easy to lose yourself. And I think if spiritual awareness, it's not something that we can take for granted, in my opinion, in my own experience. If we don't practice and don't cultivate the energy and don't actively, daily expand the awareness, then the awareness, it actually goes in. Yeah. So it's like a muscle. So stretched muscle, if you stop stretching, it can come back to its original form. And the same with awareness and connection to the self. If we stop cultivating it, it can come back to the old patterns. So I think if I was to answer my own question, it's like being connected in these practices that help us awake in the first place is so crucial, to really build from this place, to keep on extending as a individual, and keep on building the personal practice and extending the awareness in the body, being present in the body, in the spirit, and maintaining this balance with the mind. Because what I think is the core issue of the people that are all about business is the lack of the balance of body, mind, and soul energy. And then we are in the mind all day, like doing in the mind. Okay, maybe then I go for 1 hour to the gym, so I just kill my body. And then I'm exhausted in the mind, exhausted in the body. Okay, great, I can go to sleep. And there is no time and space for the subtle energies to move, which is when we sit in a meditation, or when we do the breath work, or when we go ecstatic dance, or when we go to a retreat, or when we do whatever it is that we actually love, that allows us to be still. At some point, there is this connection from the subtle energies, the spirits inside, the higher self, the intuition. And so whenever we start to connect with this, we start to feel that the spirit speaks to us also through the body. And there's intelligence of the body, intelligence of the internal spirit, soul. And there is also the mind capacity. So I would say maintaining this balance is just crucial to not go back to the old patterns.
Yeah, so much. Thank you for pointing this out so loud, because this is it. I also really deeply see that this is the base of everything to stay in your own practice. And when you think you're too busy, then it's actually like do a double. I mean, there's really this deep truth in first being connected to myself, and then I can go out also to be in service. So yeah, like I am also like a big fan of really like having the space of having like a good morning practice. Because with the energy you go into the day, like the rest will unfold. And yeah, so for sure. Yeah.
Yeah. I think one thing that we work with a lot here, and it's like linked to this, is connecting people to their higher self. And one we realize is that our higher selves is a version that we do feel a connection to, and when we have these like spiritual awakenings or whatever, it's more of an alignment to that version of ourselves. And I think for us, when we kind of get back into the stories of ourselves and our narratives of what's expected from work and life and all of these other things, it can get overwhelming, and then we lose that connection to that version of us. So I think a lot of the work is kind of like shortening the gap between the higher self and where you are now, and the closer we can get to becoming one with that is kind of in short, when that connection is there, then everything will also flow from there. You know, the practices will just be natural. It's not a question of, do I have time to meditate? It's like, yeah, meditation is just the way you connect there. So it's, of course, you have time for it. And the same with the work, because if you're working your heart's purpose and your calling, you don't lose energy doing that. It's like it just flows through, and even like the small tasks that might seem boring, that are like connected to the higher purpose task, you find a way, because it's all connected, and you fall in love with the process as well.
Yeah. This sense of like seeing the bigger why behind it. I think that's also like the why is so important. It's not how or what, but why. Why am I doing this? And with this, I feel it in myself, and also like what I see in the people around me. When I really deeply rooted in this with the why, and like connect with it again and again. I do this every morning. Like, who am I and why am I here? And with this connection, I can just flow differently through my day, and also like go through challenges, because there are challenges, you know. This is like a personal development in the highest version if you really go into starting your own business, because you will face the shit out of things, right? It's like getting so loud, like all the beliefs, all the stories, shame, you know, there's coming so much out. And I think it's powerful to face it and to walk through, walk and work through it. Yeah.
Of course.
Yeah, I think that's such an important point that you touch on, is like, a lot of people overly complicate things, but when you have a really strong why, then the rest of it figures itself out, like the how and the what all figures itself out, because the why is so important. It's like, the reason for me to build this business is because this is the impact I want to have on these people. And then And sometimes it doesn't have to be so selfless. It could be a selfish motivation. And selfish can be good of like, okay, I need to make money to feed my family, so I'm going to do this. Or, you know, I think connecting, but really understanding that why and being okay with fully going on that path.
And no, you go.
Why do you think people who are strongly connected to their why struggle with finding how to get the money?
That's a good question. I think there is a quite often the chance to get stuck in the why, like in a theoretical way. Like, I know why, but the next step is missing, and then it gets too overcomplicated, so I don't even know where to start. So this is why I'm not even starting. So to really make it so simple, and to allow yourself something that is so crucial, I think, also for success, is to allow yourself to fail, to make mistakes, to be not perfect, but to go out there in like little steps. And therefore, it's powerful to see what is actually holding me back from my beliefs. Like, what is behind that? What are my beliefs? Oh, if I go out there, like, then I'm too much, or if I speak my truth, people will leave me that I love. I will be excluded. I think people are really deeply connected to their whys, but there is like a real fear in actually showing the why and going out there and also putting an offer out there. It's not just sharing what you really deeply believe, but also opening, and this is, I think, the most important thing, opening the gate for people to come in, not just showing on your window like, this is what I have, and people are like, this is amazing, wow, what is she talking about, wow, how she lives, oh, what is he doing, that's great. But if you never really open the door and say, hey, people, come in, like, I have something really fun, like something that really can help you, people will not come in. So there's this question of, okay, amazing that you're connected with your why. Let's see what is behind that is actually holding you back. Like, what beliefs are there? Like, I mean, I especially also work with women, and one belief that is so deeply rooted, and not many are aware of, is like, also like, it's not just what happened in your life now, but also like in your ancestor lineage, right? What is going on there? And like, especially also for women in this field, in the spiritual field, back these days, women were burned, right? Like the witch wound, it's a real thing. It's really so loud. So to be really aware of, okay, this is not just right now, but I mean, I work with Theta healing, and actually 99% of the women really react really strongly on the belief, like, I get killed because I'm a healer, and therefore it's not safe to speak out. Therefore, it's not safe to open up an offer out there, because it's highly dangerous. And this is something your whole cells remember this. It's like deeply rooted. It's a real fear. And so this is why, what I was saying at the beginning, it's not just your mind body, it's also like your energetic body, to clean that. And with this, then you can start to go the next step, to go out there, to be extra, to be much, to be seen by your ex-boyfriend, to be judged. Well,
yeah. I feel that's so important, because for us as well, we work with branding and helping people to bring their brand out into life. And what we notice is that just giving people the technical tools is not enough. It's actually the energetic work behind it. Yeah. So I'm curious to hear about your, like, when you work with people, you say you work mainly with women, and you combine these business tools with the energetic tools. Like, how does that work? Like, what sort of program do you offer, the way your journey, and how do you help women with this?
Yeah. I really started because I could see, because I was in this really manly driven business coaching programs, and I felt like my soul is not seen in this. And I stopped at one point because I knew my why, but I didn't know the next steps. So what I do with my coaches is really first, like, having a really strong practice to be connected with yourself, with your spirit, with what wants to be expressed through you. And then, like, limiting belief work is like so big, like really going on to the roots of what is actually holding you back. Like, I would say that's like 80%, and 20% in the end is like building up your business. But like the things that and this is so interesting, I don't know how it is for you, but with a lot of men I talk about, they don't even have so much stuff around being seen. You know, there is not
They're perfect. They were doing
men are perfect. Point.
Well,
No, but it's like, I mean,
I think it's a different thing, because for me there was this thing of being like, I didn't feel like it was worthy to show up, and for a long time I didn't like to be on camera or be in front of things. I couldn't imagine sitting talking on a podcast. But then after I did it once or twice, I was like, it's not so bad. I don't think that it needs much of a convincing once it started, but there is still there. But actually now it's interesting. When I first started coaching, I mainly worked with men, and now most of my clients are women. So it's like, it's really shifted.
That's all my fault.
Yeah, exactly. So I made that shift, but I've noticed a difference in the way that I approach the coaching in the past with men, because I had to like tone down certain things when it comes to communicating with women. And yes.
And for me, I have to strengthen the work with men to be more like, because with women, for example, I realized I have not as much experience with men as with women, but with men I already realized sometimes you have to be like, okay,
a bit more stronger. Yeah.
It's like basically like cut that bullshit.
Yeah.
And with women, if I tell this to any woman I'm working with and I say, cut that bullshit, they're going to be like,
and I think that's also needed for women as well, you know, like, and this is something I think is also really important in building up your business, about like being, of course, aware of your limiting beliefs, what is holding you back, being aware of what is my why, what I want to bring out there. And then there's a certain amount of like healthy anger, right? Like, okay, enough of this story. Like, how much longer do you want to tell yourself this story? Like, it's about coming back to radical self-responsibility. If you don't go out there now, if you don't share about your stories, you can do that. And like the consequence of this is that no one will book your program, and in the end, you will not have money. You have to go back to this corporate job you hate. So yeah, like also this fierce love of like a loving mother. I love you, and this is why, and also like for myself, right? Like, okay, I love you, and this is why it's important that you do this, what you don't feel like doing at the moment. Also this, I think is really important.
Okay. Well, you were going to say about because you started about how women are more in this thing of like the fear of being seen, but maybe not so much for men. So I don't know if you were finished with that.
Yeah, no, I mean, I just see that they're like the self-doubt, and like the like a big one is, I'm not expert enough. I don't have, like, who am I to speak about this, right? It's a big one. It's a big one. I had to, as well, right? Like, who am I, like, to speak into a camera? Like, who it's, I hear and I feel your sister. So it's like, it's such a big one. And I just could notice that men have it less than women. But therefore, like, again, going back into history, like seeing where this is coming from, all the fear that is really deeply rooted in our DNA. This is why I think it's also very powerful when women come together, when we share also our fears, and then cutting this bullshit together, because it's time. Like, the world, I really deeply know that the world needs women in their power, in their, like, sharing their gifts, their softness, their fierceness. So like this is how we remind each other of, like, no, like, let's not go into this bullshit anymore. Like, the world needs you with what you have to offer. So, yeah.
And from this point, I'm curious, knowing all of that, how would you speak to yourself when you are this super successful marketing specialist in the best marketing agency in Berlin, and just going further and further in your career? How would you talk to this person right now?
It's actually beautiful, because I got just a little picture of myself sitting on the laptop back these days, and I just got this goosebumps all over my body, and I feel like you're doing like a little like time jumping, that I would whisper in her ear, like, hey, there's like life waiting out there for you. There's a aliveness waiting out there for you, and like you are so powerful. Because she didn't know that she is powerful. She had no idea. And that you have actually something really important to say. And my grandma, when she died, she gave me a letter when I was 5 years old. And she wrote me in this letter. She was like, always stay curious and always see what is on the other side of the page. And if the pictures in your heart are like strong enough, you will always find ways to make them true. And don't believe this old adults. They just only forgot how to dream. And I think this is it. I think we should all remember that.
Amazing. And I have one final question for you. For you of today, what does happiness mean to you?
Oh, that's a good one. For me, happiness is the simplicity of having the time of being with the people I love. It's really like happiness is being here and now, like sitting with you, feeling you guys, going later out there. There's my mom waiting for me. That's happiness. Seeing my friends, really this simple little thing. I asked this question, what does happiness mean to you all over the world to everyone? And it was actually always this. It's like being in the present, like feeling the life and the beauty in front of you. And I think this is happiness for me. So, yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. And
so much energy flowing through my body right now, everywhere.
Yes. And if anybody wants to reach out and connect to you, what's the best way to learn more about what you're doing?
Yeah.
I know you also have a podcast, you say?
I also have a podcast, that's true. It's called Van Talk. It's quite often in German, but I also have like English episodes also about business and spirituality. And Instagram is actually the best way to contact me, because also my website is still in German. So just write me on Instagram and then we can connect. Yeah. And
Okay, we'll add the links under here.
And just because I feel like it really feeds into this topic, because we do like next year a summit here in Portugal in Sintra, and it's actually for all the women who are out there, who are in the service, like to come together and to reach out, to empower each other, to really go like out there filled with like this, yes, let's go, like kind of the mothership to go out there into the world again. So if someone is interested in this, you can also contact me, and it will be in May next year. Yeah.
Is there anything else you would like to share?
No, I think that's it. Like the summit is something I really can see. It's an embodied impact summit. So like from your body, you will create an impact together. And that's something I would like to see a lot of amazing women being there. Yeah, I mean, and if you need support in bringing out your business from a aligned place, just drop me a message.
Amazing.
For sure. Thank you so much for your time and your vulnerability and your beautiful sharing today, Sophie.
Thank you so much. Yeah, thank you for inviting. And this is it, right? We met in a tent, and this is how it goes. So you never know. Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.